Hello. Um, it's been a few days. Just been busy. Too many things on my mind. Uh, Trying to keep myself busy. Um, this last story that I told is the inside track. Still going on. So the belief I have is still what I know. But I'm going to go on with the next concept here and try and put it in perspective a little bit more. Like I said, it's back and forth. Um, right after the motorcycle accident, I, like I said, I was freaking people out and doing all sorts of things, but I didn't put two and two together yet about what had happened when I was born and what happened in the motorcycle accident. I was still quite amazed and being only human and raised in the same social aspect as everybody else, even though I was experiencing those things throughout my life, I still had a problem with it. I mean, being called a freak and called names still gets to you, okay? So, um, you still have to deal with it. But as the days passed, things started to fade. So it had been now a few months, maybe 3 months, and I had two broken arms, so both my hands were broken, my wrists were broken, fingers were broken, um, so they were set in casts, and it was very difficult for me to do anything, and I needed a place to stay. And I was working at a gas station part-time, and I knew this lady. She was a little older than I was, but she was actually quite a cute MILF, and she offered me a place to stay, so I said okay. And I walked in the door. She opened the door to her house, and I walked in, and there she was. There was this girl sitting there. It was her daughter, and I went, "Oh my God!" And right away I saw her. It was the vision, like I mean the day-to-day stuff, and I saw her. The most important things. It's like, don't open that door because something bad's going to happen, or open that door because something great is going to take place. And that's what my life was starting to become. And when that door opened, it was like, oh wow! If only I could see further into the future. Like, it started to become less and less further and more day to day, and all I saw was that moment, and I fell in love with her instantly. And I thought she was the one. I thought she was the one at the end of the dream in the rocking chair, looking at me and smiling. I thought, that's it. We made contact, and that was it. But I guess she wasn't exactly in the same type of mood as I was. So, of course, I had to convince her. But I think the main effect was, it's called the Florence Nightingale effect, because I was so broken up, and how I got broken up in a motorcycle accident, and blah blah blah, the cool guy, right? And of course that's where she got attracted to me, and we hit it off, and then we started dating. She was a little younger than I was, and but she was more intrigued by my words and what I was telling her than anything else. And we didn't actually start doing anything for quite some time, and we really fell in love. And her mother was so grateful to the fact that her daughter was now starting to straighten out, because she was quite the wildcat, and didn't want to do anything to straighten out her life. She was, living at home and wasting her life and doing nothing. But now she started straightening out her life. She was looking forward to, to me, and we even planned to set out a life together, and but then I started seeing that there was, like I said, I could see things almost day to day, well, pretty much day to day, but not any much further, and I saw that there was not good things coming, and eventually it just ended. It was over, and I couldn't believe that she wasn't the one. I was heartbroken, truly, truly heartbroken. I mean, how could I be set up for such an opening to this is the way your life is going, and then shown this, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Like, what the hell? How could you do this to me? What the hell does this mean? And I really took it very, very hard. And very seriously hard in my thoughts, in my mind. And guess what happened? Well, of course, I went out on my own, and I started my life again. And I didn't know what to do, so I went out and I found a guy who gave me a job working as a subcontractor, and I started making really good money. I made really good money. I ran around all over the place, and I made good money, and he supplied the equipment, and all I had to do was get there by bus. And one day, after about 2 years of doing this, I got a really bad pain in my left leg, and I was trying to figure out what the hell. And I was on the train, and I couldn't walk. I guess I would have been a little embarrassed maybe, but there was nobody else on the train. But I couldn't move my leg all of a sudden. I tried to get up and I couldn't move. I was like, it's locked. My knee is locked. And when I tried to force it, it was like, and I was literally in tears. The pain was so horrific. So I just sat there and waited for whatever it was to subside, and it finally went away, and a little bit, and it calmed down quite a bit, and I could start moving my leg, until finally I got to a section where I realized, oh, I'm like at the next train station I can get off, and my doctor's office is like 2 blocks away. I thought, okay, this is perfect. I'm just going to go in and make an emergency call. I know he's there. So I got off and hobbled literally in tears to the thing, and I got to see him, and okay, they took me right in, and he sent me for an x-ray immediately, and I had to hobble over to the x-ray office, which was a couple blocks away, and then they gave me the x-ray, which was, I don't know, strange. This was in 2000, no, this was in 1992, or 1993, something like that, 1992, somewhere in there. I can't remember because there's another part of this. But anyway, the x-ray, I took it out of the package and I looked at it and I thought, what the hell is that? There's this large white mass that went across the tibula, or the I don't know what the hell, the leg bone, the upper thigh bone, and then the lower leg bone. And right there between the knee, there was this mass. I'm like, okay, that doesn't look right. I don't think I've ever seen that in any x-ray I've seen of anybody. So I went back to the doctor and he looked at it and went, okay, we got to get you to the doctors, the specialists. And they said it's a tumor. I thought, oh, okay, what now? And they suggested everything: chemotherapy, radiation, last resort was getting your leg amputated. I thought, no, I'm not becoming Terry Fox. And I don't mean anything against the guy, but the fact is that I wasn't very old at that time, very aged at that time. I thought, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go my way. So I did a little bit of partying when I was younger, but I really didn't have a lot of fun. So I went out and I did a lot of partying. Oh, I did a lot of partying, all right. I weighed 250 pounds and they called me the bear because I just had this big bearish appearance. The girls just loved me for some reason. I don't know why, because I didn't look fat, I just looked big. And I went from 250 pounds to 110 pounds in 8 months. There was a process. It went from booze to lots of booze to meeting the wrong people, then to doing the wrong things. But there's, like I said, there's another part of the story. I don't remember any of this because of another accident. I only remember it because of recall. That's another story. It's very interesting, actually. This whole thing is very interesting. Because of the whole thing, at the end, I ended up coming home, and I was very weak and very small. Looked like an Ethiopian. Hadn't taken one treatment for anything. And I had completely forgotten about this woman and this prior incident, pretty much. And I still see things. I still was seeing things, but you know, not as much as I used to. Basically, I'd forgotten about it. And I was walking with my cousin here at home, and I started feeling pain in my leg, and I went, oh no. And he had known the story. I told him about it, not to mention because he was partially there for it. And I went to the doctors, and they took an x-ray of my leg, and they said, oh no, seems like you got a little bit of some sort of arthritis or something. But he says, there is something there. I said, oh no. He goes, no, nothing bad. He says, it's just, looks like a big mass of scar tissue. There was something that was, it says, quite large, but it's just an outline, very faint. But it's gone now. It's, well, what I'm looking at is a little bit of stretching and pulling of the muscles you're feeling because of that, and that's causing a little bit of arthritis in the bone. I'm like, oh, nothing else. He goes, no. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. And I walked out of there happy, and I never felt another pain in that knee again. So, I associate that tumor with the loss of something I thought that was so perfect, it was so real, that it was meant to be. But really it wasn't. And then I came to terms with the fact that it wasn't. Not destroy my life. And that's where this story ends and this story begins, which is pretty much identical. And you'll see when I do the next line here. But I'll also explain where this missing time comes from, and the next story of the next accident where I pass away again. But I'm going to leave it at this, and we'll move on to the next area. And I'm going to try and keep up a little bit more, but I've got other videos in different stations going on, because I do have some other things and issues that have to be told. Just very important stuff. That's legal battle crap. So, talk to you later. Thank you.